Hi, welcome to New Zoe and Friends. Today we're going to be reading the Best Friend Battles. And I have a special shout out to my mom that has her birthday today. She's turning 42. Okay, so I'm going to be reading chapter 7 through chapter 8. I nearly left Albert and the orange box in the bushes, because surely someone would find him at some point, but it might take a long time. If Dagger was outside in his yard with a pretended fence snarling at me like a lion with a stomachache, he knew where Albert was. And if he got the chance, he would eat him. Rah! He just like a lion with a stomachache. George's grandma was missing from the front window, so I snatched the box as fast as I could and ran back home as if Albert's life depended on it. After leaving Albert in the twins' fort, I went to my room to think. Albert's fine, I told myself as I flopped into my bed. He's only missing from Georgie for a few hours. Georgie wasn't really that sad. Not yet. Georgie's window was unlocked now, so I could return Albert later that night. When everyone in the world, even Dagger, was asleep, Georgie would wake up to the best surprise of his life in the morning. But then there was a box with a silver wrapping paper. It was stuck in my brain like a gum on a shoe. It was large and square and expensive looking. I thought about it a while. I helped my mom clean up the kitchen. I thought about it while I chewed my sausagey pizza. Well, this is pepperoni. And I thought about how I ate my Moose Tracks ice cream. What would be in a box that big? Later that night, after watching the twins play beef jerky catch with Albert, I had a talk with my dad while he did dishes. I had to go get a new present for Maria, I told him, because he's my dad and not my mom. He just said, "Really?" "Yes," I said. "The best present ever." The best present ever," he said, rubbing his chin like he was thinking about it. "That's a tough order." "I know," I said. Then I rinsed the pepperoni grease off the plate and waited for him to tell me what to do. "Well," I said when he didn't. "Well, what?" he said. "What should I do? I don't have any money and Mom won't buy me another one." "Then you have to make her something." "Make her something?" I was stunned. Flabbergasted. "I can't make her something," I said. "Definitely nothing as good as gerbils or a giant silver box," I thought. Now," he said, flapping his dish towel in my face. "The best presents are homemade ones. Anyone can go to a store and plunk down some money and buy something. Anyone who has money," I said. "Yes, of course. But it is the rare friend needed who will wait, where was I? Who will be much more better." Yes, of course, but it is a rare needed who will take care of the time to make her friend a homemade present. It's much more meaningful. While my dad began telling me about the horse his dad carved him out of a bar soap, he'd named it Sudsy. I thought about this. Making something sounded nice, like giving away your Christmas presents to kids who didn't get any. But Maria really want me to make something for her. What would I make her? I asked my dad. He was in the middle of telling me about Sudsy's best friend, Bubbles. So it took a moment for him to come up with an answer. What would you buy her if you had money? He said. That's easy. A gigantic castle to hold all her specimens. Her other ones is too small now. Then that's what you should make her, he said. In my room was an enormous tub of long, skinny blocks, the kind that balance so well you can build a tower as high as your ceiling. I couldn't return Albert until it got dark, so right away I got busy. Found some square plywood in the garbage, got my mom's off-limits glue gum, and a giant off-limits bottle of glitter. I spread a newspaper on the floor because I'm a responsible individual who doesn't want to get glitter on the carpet and face a lifetime in mom prison. Hi, Shayla. I began building my castle. It would be huge, better than the one you can buy at a toy store. It would have 14 towers, a drawbridge, and a sluggy, monster-filled moat. Even Albert would love it, if ferrets loved castles, which they probably did. Building a fountain was easy. Made up of outline of a giant square of plywood and glued the blocks together. I was halfway done with the walls. Then I realized I'd forgotten to leave space for the drawbridge, so I had to tear apart one wall, which made the next two crumble. It almost had fixed the problem when I realized that none of the walls had windows. But then the walls were already built, so I needed to saw them to make them. This was a problem. I was afraid of saws because they reminded me of goblin teeth, even though goblins aren't real. So I got a knife from the kitchen and tried it. But knives are good at cutting skin off your fingers, not making windows. It wasn't until the north-south wall fell over the hip and less blocks of stringy glue that I lost my temper and smashed down the entire castle, or what's left of it. A doorbell rang. The air vent in my mom's in my room is right over the entryway. I listened carefully as my dad answered the door. Oh, hello, Josh, isn't it? How nice to see you. What's that you got? A casserole, Josh said. My mom had extra. It's got mushrooms and steak. She put it in this disposal pan so you can freeze it if you want for when the baby comes. Josh's mom was famous in the neighborhood for sharing casseroles. This could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on the casserole. Mushrooms made this a bad thing. Would you like to come in? My dad said. I felt forward in surprise, my hands pressing painfully against some blocks. I believe Sylvie's in a room, my dad said. Maybe before I could shout, no, Josh cannot come in my room. The door was open. Oh dear, my dad said when he stepped inside and saw the mess on the floor and blew my hands. Are you all right, honey? Normally, I would have screamed that I was not all right, and this council was never going to work because I was terrible at building things. I might as well go rob the toy store. The jail would be better than trying to build a castle for Maria. But Josh was in my room, so I had nodded and sniffed and waited for it to go and shut the door so I can scream my own privacy. What are you making? Josh said, like nothing was wrong. And when he said two shocking words, a castle, my mouth opened and dropped like a bouncy ball. I looked at my dad, but he shrugged and left the room. The traitor. I made the castle once out of blocks, Josh said. My sister helped me. We made a drawbridge too. You have any cardboard? I did have cardboard. Our garage is packed full of cardboard box warehouse. And before I knew it, Josh was selecting the perfect cardboard for the drawbridge. And I was built a castle with Josh Shelton in my room with a glue gun and even glitter. We built the fountain and walls and towers out of blocks. The moat was made of ugly blue paper. We decorated the dungeon with bits of coal, also found in the garage. Josh went bonkers with the glitter, sprinkling it everywhere until the entire castle was sparkled. He even knew how to make windows without a saw. Thanks, I heard myself saying when we were through. Maria would love it, Josh said, and my mouth dropped again. It's like another bouncy ball. How did you know I was making this for Maria? I said. Then I gasped. Are you spying for Georgie? Huh? Josh said. No, I just guessed it for Maria because her birthday's tomorrow. And she has that castle in her room that's small, too small. He got to his feet. I'll see you tomorrow, I said suspiciously, instead of saying goodbye, but he left anyway. What? I watched him walk slowly down the path. His head pointed down, his shoulders pointing up, like he didn't want to leave. What if Josh was working for Georgie? What if Georgie had sent him over here with the casseroles for a cover so he could find out what I was getting from Maria? Georgie would want to know. He would want to know so he could make sure his present was better. But at least he didn't see Albert. If Josh saw Albert, he would tell Georgie, and Georgie would tell Maria, and Maria would ask why, and I wouldn't be able to answer, and she would say, we're not going to be friends anymore. Sylvie Scruggs, not forever and ever, not for all the castles in the universe. Chapter 8. Dun, dun, dun! Wow, it's beautiful. Let's put the castle in the wagon, my dad said when he was through my work. Okay, mine and Josh's work. We lugged the castle out to the garage together. That way you can just pull it over to Maria's in the morning, he explained. The castle was so enormous, It barely fit inside the wagon's metal bottom. And our wagon was a big wagon, enough for 3 or 4 kids to ride at once. This is a really good present, my dad said. Maria's crazy if she doesn't love it. Maria's not crazy, I said. Tate and Cal poked their heads into the garage and see what they were doing. Wowzers, Cal said. That's cool. Can we have it? Tate said. Albert would love it, especially the moat. He loves to swim. Who's Albert? Trying to ruffle Tate's hair without getting bitten. One of your stuffed animals? Stuffed animals? Stuffed animals? Cal said. Huh? Tate said. Yes, I said as I pinched Tate's elbow and stepped on Cal's toe. They have a stuffed ferret named Albert who loves castles. I looked at them hard. Remember your stuffed ferret? Because he's not real, he's stuffed. Tate and Cal looked at me like their brains had been erased. So I told my dad I would put them to bed, and I have a stern lecture about not giving away important secrets. Well, I did. Then I found a soft blue blanket. Bluish greenish is Miranda's favorite color, so I covered up the castle. It fits perfectly. Silver is Maria's other favorite color, so I found a silver bows for the gift wrap. For the gift wrap. It's wrapped box and set them on top of every tower. Silver bows are better than silver wrapping paper because you can save them afterward. Happy shivers ran through my body as I stepped back to look at my creation, but I didn't have time to look back at my creation for the happy shivers. I had to return Albert tonight. When my dad tucked me in later, I pretended to be very, very sleepy, but I wasn't sleepy. It was tending to my parents to put the house to bed. Did you get the front door? My mom said, like she always does. Yes. Did you lock the back? Like my dad said, like he always does. Yes. Get the lights, please. My mom said, like he always does. My dad's voice is low. Roger. Roger that, Captain. Then, like it always does, my door opened. She's out, my dad said. Funny girl. How was she today? On a scale 1 to 10. My mom sighed like she always does. No major disasters to report. Just worrying about things she doesn't need to worry about like usual. Doesn't need to worry about like usual. After this roll comments, my door shut and my parents made their loud and regular noises checking on the twins and brushing their teeth and going to the bathroom. When the gigantic metal floor fan in their bedroom turned off, I knew I was safe. That fan is loud enough to block out the sounds of 100 snarling lions. Why do you have a collar? And he's brushing his teeth. And it's a big fan. Yeah. Like a big fan in their room that will have No, I made myself lose the thing. When the guy jammed. Oh, so I flipped over in bed and watched my clock as it moved from 10:15 to 10:16 to 10:17 at 11 o'clock p.m. time. I popped right up and climbed out of bed. My hand shook as I put my blanket close. My heart thumped as I pulled my hair into a ponytail. Bum, bum, bum. I was so nervous, I almost gave myself hiccups as I snuck into the boys' room. This way, my last chance to put Albert back before Maria's party. Sylvie? Shoot, it was Cal. Go to sleep, I said. What are you doing in our room? Cal said. Why are you wearing those clothes? Tate said. Shh, I said in a furious whisper. You wake up, Mom and Dad. They can't hear anything with Mom's lion fan on, Tate said. Her darkest clothes. All right, I said. I'm returning Albert. That's all. Right now, Cal said, in the night. I want to come, Tate said, really fast. Tate said really fast and banged his head on Cal's bunk. Ow! I don't think we should go anywhere in the dark, Cal said. There could be bad guys out there. I'm coming, Tate said cheerfully. You're not coming, I said, because that would be a disaster. That would make too much noise. Then Georgie's dad will call the cops. Dagger would wake up. I was just kidding about returning him. I'm going to keep Albert in my room tonight. I paused to think a good reason. Because I'm lonely. Lonely? Tate and Cal both began talking at once because they don't mean what means to be lonely. They always have each other. I scooped up the sleeping ferret and ignored him when he bit my finger. Good night, I said. I'll see you tomorrow. Have some nice dreams. Then I shut the door behind me. I waited for several seconds to make sure they went back to sleep. When no sounds came from their room, not even whispering, I tiptoed to the garage to get a nice box. Whispering to get a nice box for Albert. One a little more comfortable than the orange box, which didn't smell too good anymore. I found some newspaper, some old rags, and pretty soon made him very comfortable for his trip across the street. This was easy. I thought I snuck out to the side of the garage door. The moon was out, so the dark wasn't too scary. I just had to walk it over and drop Albert off. No problem. I didn't see Tate and Cal until they were standing next to me on a sidewalk in their pajamas with black stuff on their faces. Permanent marker, Tate said with an evil grin. He pointed the black streaks on his forehead and cheeks. But camouflage. I didn't have time to do a very good job because Tate's got the marker first, Cal said. His face didn't have black streaks, just black dots. It looked like chocolate chips ice cream cone. All right, I said. I guess you can come. But the rule is you must not speak. Not at all. Not a peep. Not even if you trip and break your leg. Not even if there's a dangerous monster about to eat you. Not even if the police captures you and takes you to the police station, makes you eat mushrooms until you tell them the truth, they paused dramatically. Got it? I waited them to run away in terror. Got it, Tate said. Got it. Cal said. Okay, I said, giving up. But you have to be perfectly quiet. I stepped off the sidewalk. Cal stepped off the sidewalk. Tate stepped off the sidewalk. Ow, Tate, you stepped on my foot, Cal said. I did not, Tate said, even without bothering to whisper. You stepped on your own foot and a slug. Ew! Cal shouted because he hated slugs. Ew, 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 get it up, Sylvie. Get this slug off my shoe. This conversation continued all the way to Georgie's house. And despite the number of times I pinched their elbows, it continued until we were standing in their backyard. You have to be quiet now, I told them. If we get caught, they could toss me into prison and throw away the key. Do you understand? Where would they throw the key? Tate said. Why don't you just give Albert back? Cal said. In daytime at the front door, because I can't, I said louder than I should have. It was an accident. This wasn't all my fault. Now stop talking, Cal zipped his lips. I won't talk again, he grunted through his teeth. I'm going to talk again. Tate did the same. All right, he said through his lips. Won't talk. Okay, I said, keeping my teeth shut. See that bucket? What? Cal said through his shut teeth. I'm escaping. Also shut. Do you see that bucket? Tate said. Also through shut teeth. What? Cal said. Okay, I said. We can whisper, but the whisper must be soft. Only a lizard could hear it. Lizards have super senses, eardrummers, according to Maria. I hunched over. Cal hunched over. Tate hunched over. Our faces were nearly touching. Cal is Mr. Stinky Breath. Tate said in a whisper. I am not, Cal whispered back. Quiet, I ordered. Through Cal's breath really was stinky. Then I explained the situation. Stand on my bucket, open the bedroom window, slip Albert inside. Tate was assigned to hold Albert's box while Cal was help me move the bucket. But it was dark, and I couldn't remember for sure which window was Georgie's. Is that it? Was that it? Cal asked if I pulled and tugged on the next window. No, I said, it's not. And stop asking me questions. What? Stop asking me questions. I can't continue. It's not easy to open windows. Are you sure you unlocked the window? Tate said. Maybe you locked it. I'm sure, I whispered surely. I don't get stuff like that wrong. Like that wrong. I don't get that. I don't get stuff that wrong. I don't get stuff that like that wrong. Tate left Lucy right tightly. Tate looked stunned at these words of wisdom. Carol looked hungry. I ignored them both. I knew they had unlocked Georgie's window, and there was only one possibility left. I crossed my fingers as Carol and I moved the bucket. I stepped up. I put my fingers on the side of the window thingy, and I pulled every last bit of strength I had since I was born. No, I said. It wouldn't budge. No, no. Sylvie, Cal whispered. Stop shouting. That's Grandma's crazy window locking person. I said. I still pulling on window. She must gone around the house locking windows just for fun. It's not as if there's a crime in this neighborhood. It's not as if someone is trying to climb the window and steal stuff. Dagger woke up and roared loud, practically shook. Ah! Cal shouted, and he dove out in the bushes and ran toward our house as fast as his short legs can carry him. I looked at Tate with serious eyes and said, "Don't you dare run off screaming too." But he dropped Albert's box on the ground and took off after Cale. "Ruff, ruff!" he shouted at Dagger. I picked up Albert and started to follow, but a screeching sound came from the house. I paused. The sound kept coming. Georgie's back door was opening. I screamed without making any noise and took off around the house like a girl afraid to get caught by muscly dad or a window locking grandma or a friend stealing boy. That's it. Thank you everyone for watching Reading with Zoe and Friends. And bye. And this is a lake, not an ocean. And I didn't choose this area. Bye. It's not. Can't be going that close, Mom.